one creator that has been on everyone's lips this year is Dodford.
Dodford.
This is Dodford.
But I also love Dodford style. Like if Dodford had made it, cool, I'm down to watch the Dodford.
Would everyone please just stop talking about him? That was my initial thought when everyone kept telling me about how I should watch Dodford to improve the quality of my videos. And I'm big enough man to admit to my flaws. I thought he was just a nuisance. I thought of him as a nemesis of sorts. But my curiosity took over my ego, and I'm finally ready to dig into the question of why Dodford is this popular with other creators.
My name is Danny. People call me Dodford. Americans call me Dartford.
I bet you've come across Danny's work before, whether it was one of his in-depth pop culture profiles about the likes of Adam Sandler, Jim Carrey, Donald Glover, or you've seen his unique style of thumbnails and posters. It's almost 2024 and this guy is making posters for his YouTube videos. Damn it, they're good. Each film that Dodford creates establishes a narrative and the subject early on. From teasers at the end of his latest video to the aforementioned posters, Danny masterfully creates an atmosphere and excitement around the next release.
I want there to be a palpable sense of, hype. And I want there to be kind of a buzz, a reputation about what the idea of a Dodford documentary. The way someone thinks about my video a week after they watch it is more important than when they're watching it.
When it comes to content itself, Dodford's skills shine through. Whether it is TikToks, YouTube shorts, shorter style content, recasting old beloved movies, or longer essays about popular celebrities, and even the client work for other major creators, Danny invests countless hours to make every part of the video look perfect and intentional.
I think people, they really notice that like extra 5-10% of effort you put in. Not necessarily even like actually you're putting 10% extra effort in. It's kind of sometimes just 10% extra care.
And he's not abusing the latest trends or does clickbait. Danny is driven by his inspiration. He's like that young man who sees someone who inspires them. He rolls up his sleeves and does the groundwork to study them, learn their ways, and analyze what drives them. He then recreates the closest possible version of that person in his own way, letting us explore those well-known characters through Dodford's eyes and skilled editing. So I guess now is the time for me to tell you why I did not want to watch his content. I have this personality flaw. Every time someone tells me about someone who does the job better than me, my competitive spirits and my ego bubbles up. And I resent that person without ever meeting them. I resent them without ever giving them a chance. I resent them. I start thinking of them as my nemesis. And I'm not the only one.
The second thought, as we all did, was why? Why the has this guy got crazy growth with all these fans, and why, selfishly, why is it not me?
But there was this one barely known game that I played all those years ago, and it taught me how to overcome this emotion.
Already the new game with realistic shoot-'em-up graphics is sold out everywhere.
Grand Theft Auto Vice City is one of many entries in the GTA series. Early on in that game, players come across an infamous mission, Demolition Man. Demolition Man is commonly known as one of the hardest missions in that game. Countless controllers, keyboards, and mouse fell victim to gamers failing this mission. I was among those players. Time after time after time after time, I kept failing. But time after time, I kept trying and trying again. I kept coming back to it, and eventually I beat it. I didn't stop. I didn't try to cut any corners. I leaned into it, and I kept learning stage by stage until I mastered that mission. The exhilaration of conquering that game changed something in me. I learned to ignore that lower voice in my head invoking me to give up. Since then, I applied the same approach countless times. I struggle in swimming, my lower voice begs me to stop, I practice even harder until I pass out. My lower voice hates finance, I get MBA degree in finance. Lower voice despises operations, I mastered that craft to become an expert business operator. So when Hayden Hillier-Smith was roasting my video at Creator Now and I heard him say those dreadful words,
Dodford will be the best example in terms of visual storytelling, where he does use the cuts and the visuals and the graphics, and he uses them very much intently.
I knew it was time to overcome this negative feeling, and I could do it in the only way I best can, by making a video about him. To my surprise, the person who I discovered wasn't some stuffy artiste who is high on his own hype. Dodford turned out to be a hardworking, talented dude who worked his tail off to be where he is today. All of his skills, the quality of his videos started over 12 years ago when he used to edit Call of Duty videos. That eventually evolved into him creating TikTok account to build out his portfolio to find the clients after he graduates from the film school. And suddenly, fast forward 2 years later to today, and now he's one of the most respected storytellers in the creator economy. Yet there is one thing that everybody gets wrong about Dodford. All of the creators focus on his technical skills. The visuals Dodford is using, his mastery of linking dispersed parts of different interviews to create an easy to follow narrative, the subtle and elegant way of using AI technologies. I think the most important lesson Danny teaches us all used to be in the outro of every video in the past.
You don't need $1 million or a dedicated team. Audiences want one thing, and that's you.
All of the fancy editing tricks will not make you a better storyteller. Similarly to how knowing everything about the cameras won't make you a great cinematographer, or having a degree in the most prestigious university won't make you the best in that profession. Acquiring those skills help, but it is how you apply them that truly matters. Strip away all that fancy visual work. I bet you Dodford would still tell a better story than 90% of the creators on this platform. No matter what field you're in, resist that lower voice that feeds your ego. Find the top dogs in your field. Observe how they do what they do, and like Siler from Heroes, obsess about copying their skills. Avoid the whole skull opening thing though, and then apply these newly mastered skills to do the work unique to who you are. Each one. We all work our unique paths, and instead of feeling intimidated or jealous about others who are better than us at something, embrace them and their skills instead. Learn from them. I don't need to be like Dodford. I'll replicate some of his tricks, I'm even applying them in this video already, but I'll use them to tell my own story. And I will continue to focus on what I love, while Danny, he will do his own thing.
I want there to be like a palpable sense of something is happening. That's a dream of, like this Dodford Productions. Kind of like, I want to eventually maybe try be my own A24.
Well, I will continue to focus on the business of being a creator, and I will help talented creators like Dodford to build a business infrastructure around their creator brand. And who knows, one day we might even work together and become good friends. I'm not his nemesis. Or am I?
See you back home.
Dodford